acting up here don't really mean shit to me unless you're gonna fight me here now.
I don't think that Jake would have enough time, seeing as he's already undersized. He's not a real heavyweight, and this is Anthony Joshua we're talking about.
Take a punch, really. If he takes a big punch from Jake Paul, if he gets hurt in any way by Jake Paul, if he doesn't absolutely ice Jake Paul within a few rounds of this 8-round scheduled bout, well then it really affects his...
Tensions flared at the press conference when Anthony Joshua confronted Jake Paul over what he felt was disrespectful behavior. The former heavyweight champion reacted sharply, making it clear that Paul's remarks and attitude had pushed him too far. The fiery press conference was just the beginning of the conversation surrounding Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Analysts quickly weighed in, breaking down the risks and consequences of such a matchup. Legendary trainer Barry McGuigan delivered some of the strongest criticism, pointing out the real fear many professional fighters would feel when stepping in with someone like Jake Paul. With decades of experience around world-class punchers, McGuigan stressed that one clean shot can completely flip a fight, highlighting how dangerous this bout could truly be.
Some people are saying, you know, AJ's grabbing the bag. There's nothing wrong with that, because anybody else, if they got offered that kind of money, they would do it. So, yep. And some people are suggesting it might damage his legacy. Where do you sit with the decision of him taking that fight? And it's a professional 8-round fight as well.
Yes, it's a highly dangerous fight for Jake Paul. I don't know what he's doing, unless they have done some sort of caveat or some sort of agreement that he says he's going to go easy on him, or he's not going to go flat out. But you know, I've been tossing this up and down in my mind and trying to figure how in under God, when he had agreed to fight someone like Tank Davis, who is, you know, several divisions below him. That's more like what Jake Paul does. And then he goes from there to fighting Anthony Joshua. I mean, just look at what happened to Francis Ngannou, who's a big, athletic, tough guy and had gone 12 rounds with Tyson Fury and given him a real ding-dong. And then he gets absolutely obliterated in a round and a half against Joshua. That shows you, despite the fact that he's been knocked out since by Daniel Dubois, who could knock out anybody, by the way, in any weight division or in any era of the heavyweight division. He's such a powerful guy. He could knock anybody out if he hits them properly. But you know, it just seems utter madness. And
Wade, host of the Wade Concept podcast, revealed that Jake Paul's secret preparation strategy for Anthony Joshua has been uncovered. He explained that Paul has been sparring with multiple heavyweight boxers who match Joshua's size, reach, and experience. These sessions are helping Paul handle heavyweight level power while refining his timing, footwork, and game plan. By training with fighters who mirror Joshua's attributes, Paul is adapting to the exact challenges he expects in the ring.
Jake Paul, who hasn't fought someone in the top, realistically, the top 50. I know Tommy Fury is ranked in the top 50, but anyone that is a top 50 fighter, even in your weight class, let alone a top 10, top 5 heavyweight in Anthony Joshua, who was a 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. Can you get prepared for a guy like that if you brought in, let's just say, a deity, freaking Zeus, Hercules, whoever, to prepare you? Could you do it? I don't think that Jake would have enough time, seeing as he's already undersized. He's not a real heavyweight, and this is Anthony fucking Joshua we're talking about. But I will say there were rumors going around that Jake was not taking this fight as seriously as he needed to. That Jake was dilly-dallying, flying to go see F1 in Miami after his press conference, and then going to see his girl all the way in the Netherlands if she's trying to qualify for, I think, the Olympics or something else. There was this post from his girlfriend. I don't know if, again, this was in the Netherlands or where it was at, or maybe this is an old picture, but Jake flying around the world when he has a fight in about 4 weeks is probably not the greatest look, and it doesn't seem to make it look like he's taking it as serious as he needs to, locked away in the gyms of Puerto Rico. Now, again, that could have been a different picture. That could have been something else, but that's pretty shocking to see. With that being said, I want to push back on that because I do think Jake is taking this as seriously as he absolutely needs to, because this is not only the toughest fight of his career, it's the most dangerous to the longevity of his career, to his health and well-being. And so to do something like that, you need to bring in the best help possible to get ready. We already heard that Jake Paul was preparing for Anthony Joshua by sparring the guy that Anthony Joshua was about to fight in Cassius Chaney, this gentleman right here, who was 24-3 from B-More, aka the DMV, and apparently is a top 100 heavyweight, even though it doesn't say he's actually a top 100 heavyweight, but that was what he was being marketed at.
Former professional boxer and analyst Spencer Oliver offered a unique angle on the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua clash. Speaking on an expert panel, he suggested the matchup holds symbolic importance that goes beyond competition. Oliver compared the moment to Muhammad Ali's era, when Ali took unconventional fights that captured global attention and reached audiences outside traditional boxing. He believes that if Joshua steps into this fight, he enters a moment similar to Ali, where showmanship, spectacle, and sport collide. The bout could attract new viewers, connect with a younger digital audience, and boost boxing's visibility worldwide. Oliver emphasized that such crossover matchups can reshape the sports culture, spark global excitement, and open new revenue and sponsorship opportunities. For Joshua, it becomes more than a fight. It becomes a cultural event with massive impact.
Pops him a few times in the face, walks out of 150 million quid. No one will remember the fact he fought Jake Paul. They'll remember the fact he knocked Klitschko out in Wembley in 2017.
Totally agree with that.
So I'm kind of, whilst I don't like it, and I don't like the way that Jake Paul gravitates to these brilliant athletes and like a moth sucks the life out of them because he gets the benefit of association, because I think they deserve all the association. But he is a and there was opportunity there, wasn't there?
Listen, commercially, of course it works because it'll be huge and there'll be a load of money on the table. And for Anthony Joshua, it's like sort of, he's going to get rewarded very well with no risk, minimal risk, no risk at all. He's going to go in there and he may then put all this stuff to bed with Jake Paul and calling out all these different champions, etc., etc. So, of course it works. And when you're talking about, the credibility that Joshua's going to get, he's not going to get none now, but are people going to remember that? Of course they're not. Like, when he goes on to do what he does, didn't Muhammad Ali have some sort of strange fight in the middle of his career? Didn't he box? Yeah, he did. He boxed some non-boxing guy and whatnot. Like, people don't remember that. That's what I'm saying. Look, us as boxers, we don't remember stuff like that.
It was replicated in Rocky. So, he did a version of fighting Thunderlips, didn't he?
Veteran boxing analyst Gareth A. Davies voiced major concerns about the safety of the contest. He pointed out the huge weight gap and the drastic difference in experience, arguing that this matchup pushes the boundaries of what should be allowed in a professional bout. Davies warned that if Joshua lands clean early on, the results could be dangerous. While the idea of a social media star facing a world-class heavyweight is intriguing, he believes the physical risks make it a highly questionable fight. He urges promoters and regulators to carefully assess the safety protocols, as a misjudgment could lead to serious consequences for either fighter.
As I am with you, there is a danger in this fight. The odds are, Joshua's 1-12, obviously. Jake Paul is 6-1, yeah, to win this fight in a two-horse race in which this is a guy who lost to Tommy Fury, Tyson Fury's brother, in an 8-round fight, who, for me, I wrote that it would damage his legacy a week ago. It will damage his legacy for several reasons. If the Deontay Wilder fight never emerges, which it looks like it isn't, I've been calling for that fight for ages. If those two got in a ring together, it's still a massive fight. It's a dangerous fight to sanction, in my view. It sets the wrong precedent. It is 10-ounce gloves, it is a boxing match, it's not an exhibition. This isn't a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. This is one of the most dangerous finishers in the world, who is probably 5 levels above Jake Paul and a weight division above him. I think it's irresponsible to let those two in a ring together in a proper boxing match. That's my view. It doesn't damage his bank balance, but if he earns $70 million for this, are we...
Boxing analysts Angelo and Josh offered a deep technical breakdown of the matchup. From their perspective, Jake Paul, though brave and improving, is nowhere near the level of elite heavyweights like Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder. Fighters of that caliber possess precision, timing, and natural power that can end a fight instantly. Those qualities come from years of disciplined training and physical advantage, traits that less experienced or smaller fighters cannot simply develop overnight. They stress that courage is not the same as skill, and while Paul's confidence is admirable, it cannot replace the instincts and experience of a seasoned heavyweight.
That he could compete at the highest level, and I don't think he'd beat the top 5, top 6 guys. But that in that weight class is where he'd be at, like say 180, 188 or 189, somewhere around there is where he'd probably compete. There's not a lot of talent there though, so he might be pretty good in those weight classes. Him competing in the heavyweight division against like Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua or anybody else, no, he gets annihilated. I'm very surprised he signed this fight.
I was shocked he signed this fight. I texted my buddy Bo because Bo follows boxing really well, and I texted him. I was like, dude, we might see a death. And he said the same thing. He's like, I cannot believe he agreed to that fight. But the numbers, the numbers that are, nobody knows the true payouts. They're saying it's around $200 million that they're splitting evenly. So they're getting about $100 million each. He said that it was $267 million. So I don't know who you believe or don't believe, or it could be they're splitting 200 and the 67 delta, they had to pay DAZN because Anthony Joshua has a contract with DAZN. And this fight's going to be on Netflix. DAZN.
It's DAZN.
So they, which makes, how the hell?
Please stop saying DAZN, okay?
DAZN.
That's like Saint Benoit, okay?
Where's the O in DAZN?
It's DAZN.
Well, there's no O or no E at the end either. But so they basically had to buy.
Boxing analyst Henry argued that the risks in this fight do not fall solely on Jake Paul, although most discussions focus on Paul's danger in facing a seasoned champion. Henry pointed out that Anthony Joshua also has much to lose. Even a minor mistake or a moment of complacency could give Paul an opening, and anything less than a dominant win might damage Joshua's reputation. For a fighter of Joshua's stature, this matchup is not just a formality. It comes with pressure, expectation, and potential impact on his legacy. The experts stress that both men face high stakes, making this far more than predictable outcome.